Hello and welcome to LSJ Today. I'm Naomi Harvey.
And I'm Daniel Khan. Our top stories this afternoon.
A Lincoln man has been documenting his cancer story on Facebook. 34-year-old Simon Damon was given 6 months to live in November last year and has been recording video diaries to inspire others.
And you'll be surprised to find out what the City of Lincoln Council has been spending your money on. LSJ have the exclusive report coming up.
Coming up in sport, after Lincoln City progressed to the 5th round in the FA Cup, could this legless lizard predict the result of the Imps FA Cup tie?
All that and more coming up.
Now, how do you think your City Council spends your money? Well, LSJ has exclusively acquired the expenditures of the City of Lincoln Council, and they make for very interesting reading. Lauren Mulcahy is in our studio to tell us more. So Lauren, considering the council budget cuts last year, do the council's own expenditures reflect this?
Well, the council members haven't been shy of splashing the cash in the last 12 months. Our information shows that the City Council have brought some interesting purchases, such as roundables, flower seeds and even 2 Henry Hoovers, which aren't cheap as you can see. Over £200 on Halloween sweets is also a standout.
Lauren, surely the council are spending on more crucial aspects for the community, like homeless accommodation.
Well, Daniel, in the last 12 months, the council have spent over £200,000, with just over 1% of this total being spent on temporary accommodation, such as homeless people. What stands out is 20% of this total was spent purely on long service awards for members of the council, a staggering £45,000. We contacted the council for a comment, but they declined to answer.
Thank you, Lauren.
A Lincoln man with terminal cancer has gone viral on Facebook after starting to document the last few months of his life. Simon Damon was diagnosed with brain cancer in November last year and started his video diaries on Facebook just minutes after the diagnosis.
Have you ever been in a pub when you have a conversation and you do hypotheticals, don't you? So one of the hypotheticals that you do is, if you won the lottery, what would you spend the money on? All right, and everyone's got that in their head, haven't they? What they'd spend their lottery win on. And yeah, would they give it to charity? Would they buy a nice car? Would they buy a new house? The other question that you get asked is, if you only had months to live, what would you do with your time?
I'm one of those people that doesn't really get ill. So kind of all through my work, adult life, I was always that person that even if I was feeling a bit rubbish, I'd still try and go into work. Got rushed into hospital. Had a CT scan, an MRI scan, and lots of morphine to knock me out. And from then on, it was a case of first of all they found what they described as lesions on the brain.
There's actually a lot of cancer in my brain right now, and I mean a lot. And the doctors, even though that there are medicine and things I can take, basically I've been told that we're looking at possibly 3 to 6 months.
Before my diagnosis, I just did one video, essentially on Facebook, to friends to say, look, I've been in hospital, I've been out of the loop, this is what's going on, just to make you aware, I'm in hospital, it's not looking good, not seeing my little boy for a while, because we made the decision right at the start that he wouldn't come into hospital to see me. I think for me, to tell a 4-year-old that, well, how do you tell a 4-year-old? You can't, because if you can talk about death and mortality, and that one day Daddy's going to go away. But for that 4-year-old, all that 4-year-old's going to think now, from this point till Daddy dies, is, when's Daddy going away? When are you going away, Daddy? When are you going away? Oh, I can't tell him that because there's no answer. It's not great. I can't change it though. So what am I going to do? Am I going to focus on that negative and just make my life become negative? And I can. Or I can go, okay, well, that's happening, but let's park that to the side and let's just crack on. And I guess it sounds weird, but make the most of it.
Lincolnshire residents may be asked to pay an extra 6p a week council tax if plans put forward by Police and Crime Commissioner Mark Jones are approved. With more on this story, Christina Curtis joins us in the studio. So Christina, what can you tell us?
Well, Mark Jones has revealed how he wants more council tax to be given to the Lincolnshire Police Force. Currently, Lincolnshire Police receive 14% of council tax, with the City Council receiving 16% and Lincolnshire County Council receiving 70%. The proposed council tax rise will cost residents living in a Band B property an extra 6p per week, which amounts to £3.08 a year. The minimum rise is 5p, however the majority of properties in Lincoln are classed as Band B, hence why it will be slightly more expensive here.
So residents are having to pay more tax if the proposal is accepted. What is their money going to be spent on?
Well, the increase in funding will allow Lincolnshire Police to maintain its current levels of frontline police officers, as well as being spent on new technology and vehicles. Currently, Lincolnshire Police are the 18th highest in the country for the number of crimes handled per frontline officer, so they're actually doing really well in terms of their jobs. However, they are struggling to maintain this with the current budget. At the moment, Lincolnshire Police receives the lowest funding per head of population when compared to nearby counties such as Norfolk, Nottinghamshire and Humberside. And the police will also be using nearly £4 million from their own reserves to help protect these services.
What's happening next?
Well, there's going to be a meeting with Mark Jones and the Police and Crime Panel this Monday where his proposal will be reviewed. And in this press release, he says that he's very positive about the year ahead, even though there are pressures on the finances, and he's hoping to provide a better service to the communities of Lincolnshire. Thank you, Naomi.
Still to come.
Have you won £1 million? The National Lottery are looking for the person who has not claimed the money from a ticket bought in Lincolnshire.
And the world of football turned out yesterday for the funeral of legendary boss Graham Taylor.
American President Donald Trump put the phone down on the Australian Prime Minister, calling it the worst so far with a foreign leader. He cut short his scheduled call to Malcolm Turnbull by 30 minutes during a row over immigration quotas. Trump's iron fist stands on people coming to the US is already causing him problems. Natasha Ireton-Burke has more.
The countries that President Trump has banned are Syria, Sudan, Iran, Iraq, Yemen, Somalia and Libya. The number of fatal attacks in the USA by these countries is 0.
Since Donald Trump banned 7 Muslim-majority countries from entering the USA, a petition has been set up in the UK to ban him coming on a state visit here. Now, the petition doesn't say that Donald Trump can't come on a visit, it just says that he can't come on a state visit as it would upset Her Majesty the Queen. This petition that was set up only on Saturday has had 1.8 million signatures and is continuing to rise. What is a state visit? Well, a state visit is a formal visit from a head of state to a foreign country at the invitation of that foreign country. The difference between the UK, though, and many other foreign countries is that our head of state is the Queen. So while Downing Street has invited Donald Trump over, it's the Queen who will have to be the official host of the event. Now, nearly all of these state visits are political based in a way to increase the UK's business links and to increase our relationships with these countries.
This is the quickest time a US president has been invited on a state visit. Only 3 former presidents have also been on a state visit. The first was Woodrow Wilson in December 1918, after 2,123 days of being in office. The second came much later by George W. Bush, who visited in November 2003, 1,032 days after taking office. The last being Barack Obama in 2011, 854 days after taking office. Natasha Ireton-Burke, LSJ Today.
Natasha Ireton-Burke with that report there. Now, here are some more stories from around the region.
A planning application has been submitted to redevelop St Mark's in Lincoln and create a riverside restaurant, a cinema, a multi-storey car park, a hotel and student flats as well as residential. Standard Life Investments, who own St Mark's, have submitted plans to the City of Lincoln Council for the $150 million project that will create up to 2,000 jobs.
A movement that launched in 2010 called It Can Wait is trending on Twitter after a new law will come into force in March. The new law will give drivers 6 points on their licence instead of 3 and a £200 fine for being on their mobile phones. It Can Wait raises awareness of the dangers of being on your mobile phones whilst driving. The aims of the movement are to reduce the number of car crashes caused by texting whilst at the wheel and to show that texting and driving is just as dangerous as drink driving. So far, the movement has over 14 million pledges.
A main Lincoln road is going to be partially closed for almost 4 months, beginning on the 20th of February. One lane of Yarborough Road will be closed whilst work takes place at St Faith's and St Martin's Junior School on Hampton Street. This follows numerous road closures and one-way systems in the City of Lincoln.
Britain's rail fares are set for an overhaul to make it easier to buy the cheapest tickets online. The trial will eliminate long connecting and overpriced routes and replace them with cheaper alternatives in a bid to stop the need for splitting tickets to save money. The pilot scheme is set to start in May on selected routes. Aaron Renfrey has more.
If you could get your train journey cheaper by getting on and off at multiple stations, would you? Well, this is what a new scheme, set to start in May, is looking to trial. The trial will offer passengers the option to get on and off at multiple stations between their journeys, hoping to save them a pretty penny.
Now, one of the alternative routes for that would be that you change Newark, then you change to Peterborough, then you change to loads of other places. It's much quicker to stay in one place and go there just like that. That's a much easier and better transport route.
The price doesn't really matter in this matter. I need to work, and if getting to work on time means having to drive, I will be driving. Train prices won't affect that.
If you get one whole return and you're going across country, you could be using 2 or 3 different train companies, you know, private individual train companies, and then it costs a fortune. So you can maybe save £100 by splitting it down, stuff like that.
Most people will buy their train tickets from National Rail, where you have the option to buy either 2 single tickets or a return. However, websites such as Train Split allow you to split your journey to multiple stops and thus get your journey at a cheaper price. A typical return journey from Lincoln to Edinburgh would cost you £134. If you decided to get 2 singles, it would cost you £128. However, if you decide to split your ticket, it will only cost you £113. So next time you're travelling by train, be sure to consider splitting your ticket to save a little bit of money.
That report from Aaron Renfrey. Let's have a look at the entertainment news with our reporter Janine Harding, and we start with the sad death of Lincoln actor Sir John Hurt.
Yes, Daniel. Sir John Hurt, the actor famed for his roles in The Elephant Man and Alien, has died at the age of 77. The Lincolnshire-raised actor was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer in June 2015. He recently starred as Father Richard McSorley in Jackie, a film about President John F. Kennedy's wife, played by actress Natalie Portman. His famous roles included wine-maker Garrick Ollivander in the Harry Potter movies, Joseph Merrick in The Elephant Man, and Quentin Crisp in the 1975 television film The Naked Civil Servant. His first taste at acting came at Lincoln School when he played the role of Lady Bracknell in The Importance of Being Earnest, and since then his ambition for acting grew. And in 2013, the illustrious actor received an honorary Doctor of Arts at the University of Lincoln in recognition for his work in film, television and theatre. He also appeared as part of the university's Great Mind series, talking about his life, his career and Lincolnshire upbringing. Breaking records and birthing twins, Beyoncé Knowles' pregnancy announcement sets a new Guinness World Record. The single lady singer took to Instagram to share the news of her pregnancy with a photo of herself holding her baby bump and a caption that reads, We would like to share our love and happiness. We've been blessed 2 times over. We're incredibly grateful that our family will be growing by 2, and we thank you for your well wishes. The post has been liked over 8 million times on Instagram, breaking the Guinness World Record for most liked image on the social media site's history. Fans have already been making speculations about the gender of the twins, saying Beyoncé's colour choices hint at one being a boy and the other being a girl. What do you think? Could the fans be right? You could tweet us your opinions at LSJ Today Tweets. And finally, tickets are now on sale at the LPAC for tonight's show, Desperado, presented by theatre company Lapel's Factory. Gracing the stage for the second time around, the cast promises an adrenaline-fueled display of strength and camaraderie. This experimental piece of theatre aims to push their boundaries as performers to see what they can achieve. The show is on for one night and one night only, so be sure not to miss it. And that's all for entertainment. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Janine.
Well, it's been a week of mixed emotion for Lincoln City, with the FA Cup victory being tempered by the funeral of legendary City boss Graham Taylor. Here's Jess Ward with all the latest sport news.
Hundreds of people lined the streets yesterday as legendary football icon Graham Taylor was buried after passing away on the 12th of January, aged 72. Taylor became the youngest ever manager at 28 when he took over the reins at Lincoln City after an injury forced him to end his playing career early. His time at Lincoln didn't start well, losing his first 11 games. However, in 1976, he led the Imps to promotion out of the 4th Division and with a record points total. He left City to become the manager of Watford, then later taking on the role of England manager. Since dropping out of the Football League 6 years ago and dodging the administrators, Lincoln City fans have had little to celebrate. In fact, the last FA Cup run was 1902 when the Imps managed to reach the last 16. With fans now queuing for tickets as early as 4 a.m. and sell-out crowds, some would say that the cup fever is at an all-time high amongst the Imp followers. Our sports correspondent, Danny Adamson, has this report.
Number 12.
Number 12 is Burnley. They'll be keen on that home draw. They've won 10 of their 14 home matches this season, so that's a good draw for them already. And they play...
Number 7.
They will play Lincoln City, the non-leaguers who are on an amazing run. The last time they got this far was 1902, and congratulations to Lincoln for all of their hard work. There you can see the delight down at Sinsel Bank.
There were some fantastic scenes at Sinsel Bank on Monday night for the FA Cup 5th round draw. Lincoln will face Burnley away. There were mixed reactions though from some City fans. Most were a little bit disappointed they didn't get a bigger Premier League side, a United, Arsenal, City or Tottenham. There's optimism though, they've beaten Ipswich and Brighton in the previous rounds, but a lot of fans are apprehensive about going to Turf Moor. Burnley are very strong at home. So with any cup competition or tournament, there's always some weird or wonderful animal that predicts the outcome. So we've come along to LA Reptiles in Lincoln to see if we can predict the fixture between Burnley and Lincoln. To settle the City fans' nerves, up steps the next psychic animal with an FA Cup prediction. Meet Larry the Legless Lizard. In between sunbathing under his heat lamp and reading his tarot cards, Larry likes using his psychic abilities to predict football results. A tentative start by Larry. He eyes up the Burnley badge. Does he sense a win for the Clarets? Onlookers hold their breath in suspense. Oh wait, the Legless Lizard edges closer to the Imps. Could another upset be on the cards? He looks pretty certain.
that's it. I think he's predicted a Lincoln City victory.
Brilliant report there. You'll be able to watch that match on BT Sport on Saturday the 18th of February. The kick-off for that one is at 12:30. In hockey, Lindum failed to make it 3 consecutive wins at the weekend when they lost 5-1 to Harrogate in North Hockey Division 1. The away side took the lead through a short corner before Lindum equalised shortly after with one of their own. Harrogate regained the lead before half-time as the game grew and Lindum still remained in contention but fell away at the end, conceding 3 late goals to the visitors, with the final score finishing 5-1. Lindum fall to 7th in the table and face an away trip to 5th place, Preston, next week.
Just a bit, because we haven't played for, a week and a half. We haven't had a training session or our game last week, and I think that really showed. So the weather hasn't helped us, and that just, I think, a lack of concentration at times. We started to pull it back in the first half, but then second half we got going, then after that it just sort of a slippery slope.
And that's it for your sport. Back to you in the studio.
And in just some breaking sports news, I'm just hearing now that Lincoln City have signed Gillingham midfielder Billy Knott on loan until the end of the season. A much needed kind of transfer for Lincoln after Theo Robinson left on Tuesday evening. But now we'll go to the weather with Becky Lancashire.
As you can see, it's been a gloomy start to the day so far, with strong winds coming in from southeast directions. Although it is expected to rain this afternoon, temperatures are expected to remain at around 10 degrees until tomorrow morning. Speaking of tomorrow, it is going to be colder, so we will feel a drop in temperatures. So if you're heading out, make sure you wrap up warm.
And finally, who wants to be a lottery millionaire? Well, one lucky punter is and doesn't know it. The National Lottery is on the hunt for a Euro Millions winner who bought a ticket in North Kesteven on Tuesday the 17th of January, but is still to claim their prize. The winning code is VRMS 13842 and the holder has until Sunday the 16th of July 2017 to collect their winnings. If no one comes forward, the money will go to help the National Lottery funded projects across the UK. So Daniel, what would you spend £1 million on?
Well, Naomi, I think it's quite difficult to pick. I think I would like to go for maybe 1 million Freddos, maybe?
Well, 1 million Freddos, okay. Strong choice there. But if sweets is what you fancy, you know exactly what council to go for. And Henry Hoovers, and flower seeds, and anything else really. Rounders balls might take your fancy.
Well, I do like my Henry Hoovers. The top stories are that a Lincoln man has been documenting his cancer story on Facebook. Also, the LSJ has found some exclusive information through an FOI about the City of Lincoln Council expenditures, as well as the breaking news that Lincoln have signed a brand new midfielder on loan to the end of the season, a midfielder from Gillingham, Billy Knott. That's all your news, sport and entertainment for today.
In the meantime, you can follow us on Twitter at LSJ Today Tweets, on Facebook and also on our website, lsjnews.co.uk. Goodbye.